a recent episode of the Urban Forestry Radio Show and Podcast, I spoke to Lewis McNeill of the Orchard Project. This charitable group has planted over 500 community orchards in the UK since 2009. I chatted with Lewis about the steps his group takes to create community orchards that will be a success in the long term. In this little video, I'm going to share a few highlights from the show. First, I asked Lewis about the history of the Orchard Project. The group's founders, Karina Millstone and Rowena Ganguly, were students doing a master's in sustainability in 2009, and they were looking to create a meaningful new project.
They were really interested in actually looking at long-term sustainable food systems based on trees. And arguably in a temperate climate, growing food from trees is one of the most truly sustainable ways of growing food.
Do you ever see people struggling and making mistakes if they don't have guidance of an organization like yours?
All the time. And it's a really sad thing because in a way that can have very negative impacts, because it can really put people off growing fruit trees or any trees for that matter. Because essentially it's very easy to get people together to plant trees. But you know, if you're not there then to look after those trees during those vital years of establishment, if you don't have a good watering rota and you're using strategies such as mulching, then often those trees that were planted with all of that love and care end up dead. And that's a really, really sad thing that benefits no one.
So one of the main goals of the Orchard Project isn't just to plant fruit trees, but to ensure that those trees will survive and the community orchards will thrive for years to come. And the only way that you can make sure that that happens is by making sure there's a committed and well-trained group of volunteers caring for the trees.
We see humans as being an essential component of an urban orchard ecosystem because, you know, an orchard is a relationship between humans and people. It's not fully going towards it's somewhere in between agriculture and a forest, right?
In the podcast, Lewis takes me through so many of the steps involved in creating a new community orchard. It's a collaborative process where the Orchard Project shares their expertise and the local volunteers are very involved in designing an orchard that suits their needs.
So once we've got what the group wants from the site, then we look at creating the design of the space. And we've actually come up with this really incredible tool for that. And that's our 3D orchard design kit, which is this kind of laser printed, very thin sort of wood cutouts, and we have a scale map of each site. So we have these big, huge sheets with a scale plan that fits all of these different fruit trees that we have on this board. We have different rootstock sizes, so they can actually start to get a sense of what the orchard will look like. We can really nail the spacing, so then you can add other things like energy flows through the site. So kind of classic permaculture designing, but it's a collaborative one. And that really helps people to get excited and engaged in the planning. And that's an ongoing process. That doesn't stop on that planning day. They can take that with them to the rest of the group. And of course, with any design like this, it's an ongoing thing as we tweak and as we respond to different needs of the ecosystem and different needs of the people.
So if you're interested in community orchards and community food forests, head on over to orchardpeople.com and listen to the entire episode. I'll include a direct link to the show in the text section below. And if you want to learn more about community orchards, you can also read my book, Growing Urban Orchards, which explores my journey in planting a community orchard here in Toronto. Thanks so much for checking out this video. I'm Susan Poizner from the fruit tree care training website, orchardpeople.com, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.